Little Salt Spring is located near Northport in the southwest corner of Sarasota County. This cross-section graphic shows a sinkhole shaped like a wine glass. Its basin is 40 feet deep and funnels into a vertical shaft which drops another 230 feet deep. For over a decade, underwater archaeologist Dr. John Gifford and teams of students have been uncovering the secrets of Florida life from more than 10,000 years ago.
This is part of a spear thrower, and they would have held it and put a spear right along there.
As part of the University of Miami's Rosenthal School of Atmospheric and Marine Sciences, they have discovered extraordinary relics of Florida's first residents.
Come on in, Ken. Come on in. Yes, sir.
In an unprecedented opportunity, they've invited photojournalist Jared Rogers and me to dive along with them to exclusively chronicle one of their projects.
Even with all the dives that you've done, do you ever lose the thrill of something as dynamic as this?
This is always an interesting place. I feel like I'm going into my living room.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Our dive will take us about 40 feet down. The water is sulfur-rich and oxygen depleted. Without enough oxygen to sustain life, it's organically dead. And it's for that unique reason these artifacts have been so well preserved for so many years. Down on the mucky side of the basin, teams painstakingly pull out weapons and utensils crafted by Florida's first Indians. They find a stake carved from an oak tree, and slowly they bring it to the surface.
As soon as we clean it off and get some of the sediment off, it'll be clearer, but you can really see how somebody shaved this thing down and drove it into the bottom. Of course, this was before there was water there.
How old do you think this is?
This is about 9 to 9,500 years old.
Wow.
And it's actually, I should also point out that it's extremely fragile in the sense that it's like wet cardboard. If I was to squeeze it, it would just disintegrate. So I'm not going to squeeze it.
Because of its dynamics, Little Salt Spring may be among the most significant archaeological digs in the U.S. and perhaps even the Western Hemisphere. And it's prompted an effort by state leaders to try and preserve it.
I think this is probably the most important archaeological dig, not only in the state of Florida, but probably in the United States, when you can pull up artifacts 12,000 years old. So it needs our attention, it needs our financing, it needs our protection.
County officials agree that steps need to be taken to protect this precious treasure in Sarasota's backyard.
We immediately went back to the county, and with the city we're seeking a landmark, historical landmark designation.
And what will that do? What will that do to protect it?
Well, it'll be for protection. It'll also be to open some doors for funding so that it can be protected. And also it'll put Northport and the county on the map as another place for people to be able to visit and know that there is something that's special.
It's estimated that as much as 95% of Little Salt Spring remains unexplored. What's left may be the best to come. Near Northport, Ken Jefferson, ABC 7 News.